Good morning. Oh, let me just start by knocking you flying and sending you dizzy. So good morning, welcome in on this Friday morning. And the sun is shining for the first time in what feels like a week. So that's good news. So you can't believe that it's Friday already. I can't believe that it's been it's been 5 days since I've last been here. But it is indeed Friday, and we have got our All Request Friday, and you had a choice of what you would like to play with this morning. I'm missing a stamp set. There we go. And we had our choice of the Special Someone, the Dress to Impress, and the Beauty Abounds. And by far the runaway winner this week was indeed the Beauty Abounds. So we'll say goodbye to our little squirrels and raccoons and lipsticks. I'm sure we'll play with those again another day. I'll pop those to one side for now, and we are going to play with this one. So morning Jackie, morning Megan, or evening Megan for you, and morning Beryl. Lovely to see you all. So the Beauty Abounds. I don't know that I've even introduced myself. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK, and I come on a couple of times every week to have a play. Glenda, it's been weird not coming on every morning, but I have to say that I've been very busy. I've not sort of stopped, but I have certainly felt a sense of having to get a new rhythm, because of course the getting up, coming on live at 9 o'clock in the morning was my rhythm. So I am having to work at that, what is our new rhythm. But it's lovely to be back with you on this sunny Friday morning. So Beauty Abounds. This was released last year. Is it in its second year? I don't know. I think it perhaps was. But yeah, it's a cling stamp, so it must have been last year, I would think. But a beautiful, beautiful stamp set, fabulous dies, and I have to say that one of the reasons I get it off the shelf more than anything is because it has blobs and splatters in, and I love the blobs and splatters in this stamp set. So I don't play with it nearly enough, and I have almost a sense that the speed with which everybody went see, perhaps I'm not the only one that has this beautiful collection and doesn't play with it nearly enough. Now the stamp set, as I say, we've got these couple of little butterflies, and you have got dies that will cut those out. You've got this sort of like bokeh effect splodges, you've got this lovely splatter stamp, you've got this nice swirly foliage just here, some nice greetings in a lovely font. Our friendship isn't one big thing. You've got something somewhere that says it's a million little things. A friend is someone who chooses you out of a whole world of people. You've got thanks, hello, for you, and obviously you can play with some of those and make them say different things. You could have a thanks for a million little things. There you go. There we are. You can make up your own greetings with these things with a bit of masking. So really lovely stamp set, but the dies are just something else. You get these two huge butterfly dies that will layer up, and they just are stunning. They're both stunning in their own right, but then you layer them up and they give a real pop. And then sort of almost like gets lost amongst all those big butterflies is the fact that on here you have loads and loads and loads of little butterflies that are fabulous for just adding little bits of things to projects. And the other really fabulous thing about this is that you get two of each. So you've got two of that one, two of that one, two of that one, two of that one. In fact, that's four of that one, isn't it? That's all the same. So four of those, two of those, two of those. You get these little ones here, and you've got lots and lots of those. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, you could be doing 10 little butterflies that you can die cut at a time. That's the beauty of that. So just one run through your machine and you've got 10 little butterflies to add to things, or you've got all of these little butterflies you could be adding to things just by running it through your machine once. And you also have these really lovely little added bonuses of this little foliage just here, and this sort of little bit of foliage just here, and those are going to cut out your butterfly stamps. So yeah, don't lose sight of the wonder of that, of having all of those little butterflies that you can just run through. And I think they sort of almost get, oh, there's lots of little butterflies on there, but actually there's lots that you could do with having a whole flutter of butterflies. I think it is a flutter, isn't it? I think a collective noun for a butterfly, I think, is a flutter of butterflies. I might be wrong. Do feel free to put me right on that one. If it isn't, it should be. That's what we say. So let's pop these to one side for now, and we will come back to our beautiful butterfly dies, I am sure, in a moment. Oh, I'm going to reach down onto the floor. I've got a box of goodies down there. We need a new pack of thick Whisper White card. So let's open that up. And I'm going to make this a big square card, I think, because we've got big butterflies. Morning, Janice. Morning, Jane, if I haven't said morning, and Sarah and Div. Anybody I haven't said good morning to, good morning. So I'm going to make this as big a card as we can out of this piece of paper. So I'm going to cut it that way at 14.9, because we know that half an A4 the other way is 14.9. So that gives us a square card that is just a smidge under a 6-inch square card, but will fit quite nicely into a 6-inch square envelope. I'm going to take a bit of basic black. I'm going to make us a 14.4 mat of basic black. Which is going to sit on the top there. And then I've got some shimmery white here, because we're going to have a bit of a, throw a bit of water around in a minute, so we need shimmery white card to enable us to do that. So let's tuck that round and make that 13.9 square. So we have our basic card base that we've made from an A4 piece of thick Whisper White. We've got our basic black, and we have got our square of shimmery white. So we're starting to build. Let's pop those out of the way for a minute and concentrate on this bit just here. Now I'm going to do a bit of watercolour washing down the back here. I want to know whereabouts my butterflies are going to go. So if we have them going down the middle, they fit quite nicely down the middle of that big square card. I'm going to bring in the big fat water brush just here, and we're going to have, let's have a look, we'll have, I've picked up some Rococo Rose, some Highland Heather, and some Blushing Bride ink. And let's give this a good squeeze. We'll get some ink into our lid. Do the same with the others. Ooh. Bigger squeeze. And then Blushing Bride. I'm going to start by just squeezing my brush and make sure that we've got some water coming down into there. And then I'm going to paint some water across there to make sure that we've got some, it's a bit wet to start with. It just helps the colour to spread if it's a bit wet to start with. Now I'm going to pick up some, this brush isn't necessarily the best brush actually for squeezing water out of because it is such a big brush. Let's pinch one of the smaller ones to do that job. That's better. Add in some water into those. I'm going to pick up some of this Rococo Rose and just paint that on the bottom here. I'm going to wipe it off a little bit. I'm not going to worry too much, but I'm going to go into the Highland Heather. And bring some of that in, and then last but not least, let's have some Blushing Bride at the top here. To see if I can just pick up a little bit more of that Highland Heather. That's a bit better, a bit of a stronger colour. Beautiful. So we have some pinks. Morning, Caroline. Oh, it was the Beauty Abounds stamp set that won, so we're going to be playing with butterflies this morning. And let me just squeeze some of the colour out of that brush. I do love that brush for its ability to cover that sort of area. It's just so fabulous for the big watercolour wash effects. Give that a wipe with my Simply Chamois. The water doesn't squeeze out of that because it's such a big block, a big brush. You wouldn't want the water to be pouring out of that end of that brush. There we go. So we've just got a bit of a watercolour wash going on in the background there. So we'll let that dry just for a minute. Just put the lids back on here, because then I think we're going to cut out some of our big butterflies, and we are going to do that in I was going to say, where's my other butterfly gone? Surely they've not flown away. I'm going to do the back piece in black because that sounds very strong, but we've got a black mat on the back there and I want it to pop. And then we'll do this one in Highland Heather to pick up that bit of Highland Heather that we've got going on in the midst of the pink in there. So the back one, you can tell that this one has got a sort of wider base just here than this one, and this one has got the detail punched out of the side. So let's run this through and cut out a black one to start with. Let's not use that bit of card because that bit of card is the bit of card we've just cut for our mat. Wouldn't be the first time I've done that. Cut a piece of card ready for a mat and then used it to die cut with. Let's just run this through. I think it's cut, but I'm just going to turn it over and run it through once more for feeling, just because it's easier to know it's very definitely die cut than having to try and poke out little bits that haven't quite gone. So let's bring that out here and bring that out here. Feel it raining down. That's a little brush it is. Let's just give this a brush over. And see all those little bits just drop out. And of course, we've had a couple more of these sort of big dies join the family. There is the big floral die in the that was new this year. Haven't yet added that one to my collection, but like this one, it does give a real impact and a real wow. And I'm sure that any techniques and things that you've seen on Pinterest or whatever using that big floral die, chances are you're going to be able to do similar with this one. So there's our black. We managed to pop all of those bits out, I think so. Just a bit of stray just there. Yep, so that's the black one. Let's pop that down there a moment. And then we'll take the other one and a piece of Highland Heather. So you could have used that background and cut that out in shimmery white and added some watercolour to that, or you could have die cut, sort of done a piece of card like this and then used that to die cut the butterflies, so that you've got multicoloured watercoloured butterflies. That would be very pretty. Like a layering foil. Run over the top of them in embossing powder and embossing in Versamark, and add in some embossing powder. Lots you could do. Now I think that my die cutting machine must have heard that there's a new one on the way. I've got a bit of a spot that just seems to be missing. I've obviously been working it too hard. So I'm just going to run that back through again. Let me find a bit of card I can just pop on the top. Hope that the rest doesn't move. Oh, that's great. I think that's cut it. Just added in a bit of a cardboard shim just to help shift it. Is that bit there still? Perhaps I put my cardboard shim in the wrong place. You can see I've had a couple of dies that I've had problems with in one spot. So obviously when it's a big die like this, it's hard to avoid the spot, and you can see where it is. Look, it's just here where that die is, just there. So that is just about having to catch the right spot to shim it up, and I obviously missed when I put my shim in, but we'll just help to ease out that little bit of a antennae there. Perhaps it's trying to tell me something. I don't know if you ever found that, like, mobile phones, when they're ready to be upgraded, often suddenly give up the ghost at the last minute. Perhaps that's what my big shot is telling me. You know, there's a new machine coming out. I'm going to stop working. I'm not going to work for you anymore. I know you're looking at that new machine. You don't love me anymore. And it's just this one here that's going to give us the problem, because it's not quite. Oh, I think we're pretty well there. It's not going to be perfect, but it's near enough. Okay, so there we have our pretty Highland heather. As you lay the one on top of the other, you get that fabulous pop. Just to get rid of some of our little bits of card out of the middle. Right, so let's pop those two together. Just going to put some little dots of Tombow round and about the place. And we ensure that they stick together. Does that look like enough? Could perhaps do with a couple more spots just there. Another one there. Okay. And let's line these up. And the nice thing about using wet glue on these is you do have that, just that smidge of wiggle time as you bring them together. Just beautiful. Okay, where's that big block? Let's bring that in. Sorry, butterflies, squashing you. But some little bits of glue showing round and about. So we have our butterflies that are going to go on there, and because we've got our black in the background there as well, that's going to sort of bring that black together and help that all pop. And then it's just a question of what else do we want to add into there. So this is where I think some of our blobs and our splatters might come in, and What shall we have as our greeting on there? I think we'll go with our friendship one on the outside, and then we can add a million little things on the inside. I'm going to come back to this for a moment, put those to one side, and I'm going to bring in my stays on, because we have watercoloured in that background. So let's ink this stamp up. Make sure it's got a good covering on it. Come up into this top corner and stamp that. I'm going to take this, hi Angie, take this sort of bokeh dot stamp. It's a bit to have a bit of, obviously been playing with embossing powder and things around that one. It's not feeling very sticky. So what I'm going to do very quickly is I know here somewhere I have got one of these sheets where I have, so we are now selling strips, the sticky strips that we put on the back of our stamps. And obviously they will probably be easier to pull apart than this one. I'm just going to put that sticky strip on there. And then that will give that some added cling. That's better. So let's come in with, I think, Blushing Bride. So that is the paler of the pinks. We're just going to add a few little splatters. Wrap with a scrap paper and do some stamping off as well. A few little splodges with that sort of bokeh effect in the background, and then a little splatter stamp as well, which is just here. I'll perhaps come in with some Highland Heather with some splatters. Just adding in a few of those to give a bit more texture on that background. So let's stick our butterflies down. Again, putting on some little blobs of glue. You've got some wider panels to aim for on this, on this back panel of butterflies. And have that coming down on an angle a bit like that, I think. Let's bring in our big block again. Just use that to press that down. It's amazing, those dies are they're just beautiful, aren't they? I mean, it's not a lot that you need to do to them particularly. The dies do all of the work for you. I think the fact, so this size card, so morning Jenny, this size card, what I've done is I've taken a piece of A4 card, so I don't know where you are, whether you're UK, Australia, States. So if you use A4 card, all I've done is I've cut a 14.9 centimetre that way strip and then scored at 14.9, and that will give you a card that is just a little under a 6-inch square card. So it is sort of like a nice statement card, if you like. It's a good big size card, and that die then just almost fits it. So yeah, you'll use A4 card then. So yeah, just the same, cut a 14.9, score it at 14.9, which is half of A4 anyway, and you'll get this nice big square card. And if you can get your hands on a 6 by 6 inch envelopes, which I know certainly here we can get, in the UK we can get readily, yeah, that will just fit into a 6-inch envelope very nicely, thank you. And it makes it nice. So the fact that we're doing a friendship one, and we can put on the inside that our friendship isn't one big thing, it's a million little things, or whatever it is. It's a nice friends card, isn't it? So for a special friend, you want to give them you're not going to give them a note card, are you? You're going to want them to have something that's a bit more wow. So that's just a bit of watercolour wash, cutting those dies, adding in splodges and splatters. There we are. I do need to have a really good hunt because my little box with gems in seems to have gone walkabouts. But what shall we have? Actually, I might go for these. These are the elegant faceted gems. These are from the Peony Suite. Okay. Although there is a petal pink one there, I don't want the petal pink one. I either want the white or the clear. They're very pretty, aren't they? Let's have some of these white ones. Just to put in. We'll just have 3, but it just adds a little bit more, bit of sparkle as well, because this is going to a very special friend. So because it's going to a special friend, I shan't do it now, but what I probably would do is, rather than just stamping the inside, I'll probably do another black and white matte, so it's got a black border in there as well, and then just stamp that second stamp, which is the our friendship isn't one big thing, it's a million little things. So I'll stamp that on the inside and possibly add in a couple of butterflies in and a bit of a. In fact, let's do the matte, even if I don't do the black matte. So I'm going to cut this at 13.9 square as well. I won't stick it in because I'll add another black mat, and you don't need to see me cut a black mat. I'm sure that you can envisage that for yourselves. I'm going to take the It's a Million Little Things. We'll add that in there, and we'll take our splatters, and we'll just add, that's what I love about the splatters, is you can, in fact, let's splatter up this corner as well. And then I think I'll take this little butterfly just here, and I'm just going to stamp him in black on this bottom just there. So we'll just add that up onto a black, I'll add that onto a black card mat and pop that inside, and that black then will help that to pop as well, and will sort of blend in nicely with the front. And you could do the same on your envelope. You could add in some splatters and one of those little butterflies. So that's our big whoa square card. But we can't stick at one. We need to do something else, don't we? So let's just give these a bit of a clean. This isn't going to clean stays on off particularly, but it will just take a bit of the edge off of it, and at least make sure that it's not going to mark anything else. I quite often use those splatters to go in, sort of do a whole splattered edge around the outside, and it sort of almost just gives a card a border. I do love splatters and splots. I get very excited by them. Okay, so let's come in again with our Beauty Abounds. Thank you, Angie. And I've got here a A4 card. So this is a sort of C6 size, so it is just half a piece of A4. Cut at 10.5, scored at 14.9 to make our opening. So whatever is your sort of standard half a piece of card scored in half size, that's what that one is. And I've got here some Pool Party and Blushing Bride. And I'm going to do .4 by 10 twice Pool Party. And 13.9. Why have I got my old trimmer out? That's because I've used my new one and just put it down somewhere. I've just dumped it, haven't I? I was thinking, oh, I'm putting a new blade in there. 13.9 by 9.5. Yeah, go back and check later. That's the nice thing, isn't it? You can come back in later and think, right, what did she do with that? Let me go back and look. And I do upload all of these Facebook Lives to my YouTube channel, so that might be an easier one-stop place if you're looking for one that we've done in the past. So we've got a bit of Pool Party and a bit of Blushing Bride going on there. And some in reserve for the inside. In actual fact, I'm thinking going to quickly cut another pair for the inside. So this one uses quite a bit of cardstock, but again, it wouldn't be one that you'd be sending to just anybody. And then we're going to want some Whisper White, so I think I need to grab myself an extra, sorry for wobbling you, piece of Whisper White cardstock. This is going to need to be 13.4 by 9, and again I'm going to want 3 of them. So actually let me cut both of those to 9, take one away and cut that one to 9. That's it, and I'm sure we'll have use for those little oddments as well at some point. And let's have one of those, put those to one side for now. I'm going to take this swirly foliage and I'm actually going to stamp it in Memento. Now I'm going to not worry where it meets in the middle, because I'll put a greeting or something over there. So let's stamp this up, ink this up with Memento, and let's come, oh, managed to get a yucky mark on there. Let's come from that corner down towards the centre, and I'm going to ink it up again and come from this corner down towards the centre. Now we are going to have a blob in the middle, but as I say, we're going to ignore that because we're going to put something over the top of there. I'm now going to, I've got a little collection here of some blends, and I think I'm also going to stamp. We will die cut these, I think. So where's some of that little oddment of card that we cut off the edge? There's a bit. Let's have, I think we'll have 2 big ones and pop that off there. Let's have a little one. And let's do some colouring in. I'm probably just going to take the one colour and we'll add some old olive in here. Apologies if you can hear washing machines glugging away in the background and things. We're actually forecast a little bit of sunshine over the weekend, I think, at long last. We've had a We went from complete heat wave to a week of just rain, rain and more rain. Sitting with jumpers and wrapped up in blankets and all sorts yesterday, and we're supposed to be the height of our summer. Right, obviously I'm doing this a bit quicker than you might. Colour shall we do? I've got some melon mambo here. Let's pick the light melon mambo. Might actually just do some, I'll get the lid off that one. Some light Daffodil Delight just in the middle there. I won't go down to do them all, I'll just... So this is the new melon mambo, the light melon mambo. This is a new colour blend that they've brought out with this catalogue. Blobbed that a bit. Never mind, that might be a positioning for a butterfly, mightn't it? So as I say, you'd obviously take much more time and probably be sitting at a better angle than I am to colour these in. Not even going to worry with the blobs in the middle. Oh, there's some leaves there. And that little flower. That little flower. So you've got some little blots, just little spots around the edge of here. You could sort of go over those with a colour if you wanted to. We'll see in a minute. And down here. And this one. I'm going to come in with the light pool party and add some colour to this swirl. In actual fact, I might swap out to the dark pool party. I think it might want a bit more colour. That's better. So we'll just add in some pool party swirly bits. Not sure how much of this will pop out from behind our label, we will see. Let's add in no, it was the dark one I used. Let's add in those little bits just there. I did also grab a dark rich raspberry, so let's just come over these spots with that. There we go. Pretty, pretty. Then we've got our butterflies. Let's use a bit more rich raspberry in here. To use some Daffodil Delight in the middle here, I think, and we'll have some Daffodil Delight around the spots just here. I don't know whether that is official colourings for a butterfly anywhere in the world, but it works for ours. This other one I'm going to do in light. So same pair of blends. Slightly different colour. And let's come in with some Pool Party on this little guy here. And we'll go in with the light Daffodil Delight on him. So you can have great fun deciding what colour you're going to colour in your butterflies. Let's find in amongst all of these dies here the ones that are going to cut out those two. Totally the wrong angle with this machine and making it easy for myself. Rather than using the machine, I'm just sort of leaning halfway across the room and trying to line them up. Let's pop those ones out and do this other one. As I say, these are fabulous additions to any projects really where you need a little butterfly. There's you have an endless supply in this die set. You could have cards where you've got butterflies bursting out all over the place. It wouldn't take very long to die cut them all because you've just got so many to choose from. Right, so we have a few little butterflies there. Let us grab. Let's go to the, at the moment, favourite die set. This Tasteful Labels. And let's see. It actually would be quite a nice shape in there, wouldn't it? So let's die cut a label out of that. Now I'm going to take the Pool Party going to come in around the edge of this label. Just to give it a bit of colour so that it pops off of the background a little bit. Then we'll decide what we're going to have it say. So will this one sit on there? Yes, I think it will. Just a friend is someone who chooses you. And then we'll have the other one on the inside, out of a whole world of people. Let's ink that up with some memento. It's just gone slightly off that edge, but that's fine. I'll have a little butterfly going on down there that will help to disguise that. So let's put this, so I'm going to take that little splatter stamp and I'm going to come in the same round here, just round the edges, quite softly, just a bit of, and then that will tie in quite nicely then with that label. So this is a really nice fine splatter on this stamp. So I'll have that one on there. We'll have that popped up on some dimensionals. Let's put it the right way up to cover up our blobby bits in the middle. We'll put a little dimensional just there, which will help to disguise the fact that we've popped off a little bit of that A. Hi Emma. We'll have another one just there. And that's one coming in just there. So really quite pretty, delicate. What have I just done with it? Do you know, I worry about myself. I really worry about myself. I had a pile of cards there somewhere. Here they are. Right. I'm going to stick that, make sure we've got it opening the right way, on the front of there. And we're going to open that up. And let's put these mats on the inside. And have one there. There's pink. There. With the pink, let's smooth that over a little bit. Can you just give us a little bit this way? That's a bit better. Okay. I'm going to take my two big butterflies again, and I want some a warm party one. Let's give that a tap, and that will ping that out, and I think that's pinged most of the bits out of it as well. See if there's any more that will need digging out of there in a little while. And then I'm just going to take a bit of Blushing Bride and cut the smaller one. The thinner is smaller, it's the same, has the same sort of footprint, it just has a narrower bizarrely. That looks like it might be cutting nicely, so I really didn't last time. Must have just hit a better spot on my machine this time round. As yet, that looks as if that's come out quite nicely. Now I've got bits of card everywhere. What's new? Now I'm not going to use all of this butterfly, I'm just going to pinch bits of it. I think I want that big one in the middle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paper snips and just going to cut him out. So I'm going to put the butterflies that I am chopping off to one side, because no reason why they can't be used somewhere else. do that little bit out there. So when we want to come round there, and then this one to come up there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue on the back of here and stick it to the pool party one, and then that will be my guide for where I snip that one, rather than guess where it needs to be. Let's just put some little spots of glue on the back of there. I think he might need a bit on his antennae. And we'll stick him on there. Don't know why him. And then we'll take our snips and we'll put our blue ones to one side. And last but not least, play with it. So let's just have him sitting in there. We'll just put some dimensionals down the back there. Brain is not functioning well enough to be thinking that on the hoof this morning. I should no doubt sit down in a second and going, oh yeah, that's what I needed, just like that. We'll put some dimensionals on the back of here, and I'm not going to put many. I do want him so that he's a little bit free flying. And I think I'll take some of these. And we'll have these. So I've not doubled these up, these are just single coloured. And we'll have some of these flying off up here. Let's have that one coming that way. That one coming that way. We need our little greeting for the inside. It says, out of a whole world of people. Let's ink that up with memento. I think we'll have that coming just above our butterfly, just there. So a friend is someone who chooses you out of a whole world of people. Beautiful. We'll have a few little splatters. on the inside. And I'll do a pop-up one for you very soon. It's well past breakfast time, so brain isn't functioning. So let's have a look. What have we made with our butterflies? We have got our big, almost 6-inch square card. Our friendship isn't the one big thing, it's a million little things. As I say, and I'll add a black mat in there as well, just to make that pop the same as it does on the front. And we did a watercolour wash on there, and we've added in some of those bokeh spots and some of those little splatters. So really pretty. And then this one, we've used that swirly pattern and stamped it in Memento, coloured them in with blends, stamped and die cut a few little butterflies, added some splatters and a big fluttery butterfly on the inside, where we've taken that big die and just snipped out little pieces, because you don't have to use the whole thing if you don't want to. So I hope you've enjoyed those. Clear a bit of space. I've got little bits of card and all sorts of things all over the place. I will be back now on Monday morning, when we'll be playing with something else. So have a lovely weekend, and I look forward to catching up with you all very, very soon.